So get this. Yesterday, OpenAI killed the #1 app in the world. We're talking about a platform with a billion-dollar Disney deal, 1 million downloads in just 5 days, and the most mind-blowingly realistic AI video anyone had ever seen. And just like that, it was gone, overnight. Today, we are breaking down the real story, the financial nightmare they were hiding, the deepfake crisis they absolutely couldn't control, and the massive Disney betrayal that nobody saw coming. All right, let's get into it. I mean, just try to imagine it. The most advanced, most talked about AI video generator on the entire planet just vanishes. Poof. This wasn't some slow, sad decline. It was an instant, lights-out shutdown of a platform that had everybody buzzing. But why? Well, the very first clue is an absolute bombshell. $15 million every single day. That's the number that was bleeding OpenAI completely dry. And look, this isn't just a high price tag. It's a totally catastrophic burn rate for just one product. But honestly, that's not even the wildest part of this story. To really get how they ended up here, we first have to look at what exactly they killed. See, to understand why Sora died, you have to understand just how insanely alive it was. When OpenAI launched Sora 2, they didn't just drop another tool. No, they basically built the TikTok of AI video, and it was a genuine phenomenon that pretty much changed everything. And what's just wild about this timeline is the sheer speed of it all. We're talking about 6 months. In 6 months, Sora went from being the absolute darling of the AI world to being completely scrubbed from existence. It launched, it blew up, it landed this legendary deal with Disney, and then nothing. Gone. 1 million downloads in 5 days. And get this, that was on an invite-only model. You didn't need any fancy filmmaking skills or editing software. All you had to do was type a prompt, and boom, you had a cinematic, photorealistic video. That's why we saw all those crazy viral clips, right? Dogs driving vintage cars, Princess Diana doing parkour. It was the moment everyone realized that AI had crossed a major line. It could actually simulate our physical world with terrifying accuracy. And this deal, this was supposed to be the masterstroke. This is how OpenAI thought they had solved the single biggest problem in AI: copyright. This wasn't just some tiny licensing agreement. It was a full-on billion-dollar integration. And the idea was genius, right? Give fans a legal sandbox to play in with their favorite characters and maybe even funnel the best stuff straight to Disney+. It really looked like they'd cracked the code. But they hadn't. So here's the crucial part. While all of us on the outside were just mesmerized by the spectacle, the accountants inside OpenAI were staring at an absolute financial disaster. Okay, these numbers tell a story, and it is a scary one. At its peak, Sora was pumping out 11 million videos a day. The problem? Each one of those videos cost about $130 to make. Do the math, that's a daily cost of $15 million, which adds up to a $5.4 billion annual burn rate. And the revenue? A measly $367,000 a month. Just let that sink in for a second. The money coming in was covering just 0.08% of the costs. Not 8%, 0.08. This wasn't a business model. It was a bonfire, and it was burning through cash. And as it turns out, something way more valuable. That's a direct quote from the team lead. The sheer computational power needed for Sora was physically destroying their hardware. And listen, these weren't just any GPUs. These were the crown jewels. They were the exact same chips that OpenAI desperately needed for their super profitable enterprise products. You know, the tools that actually make the money. It was a brutal internal war, and the meme videos were losing badly. But you know what? The money alone didn't kill Sora. Even if they had been able to afford it, the legal crisis probably would have. There was a storm brewing that they had absolutely no way to control. The very same hyper-realism that made Sora go viral also turned into the world's most powerful deepfake machine. It was a total content moderation nightmare. The platform was just flooded with fake but totally believable videos of public figures and fake news reports of wars and riots. OpenAI tried to put in safety filters and watermarks, but honestly, they were a joke. People were bypassing them in minutes. And then the international pressure started. The Japanese government sent a formal demand to stop using its anime and gaming culture for training data. Then you had heavy hitters like Studio Ghibli and Square Enix threatening to sue. For a company that is sprinting towards a $1 trillion IPO, These were the worst headlines imaginable. So why on earth would OpenAI torch its most popular product and its biggest partnership all at once? Because this wasn't just about stopping the financial bleeding. This was a calculated pivot. A pivot towards something much, much bigger. The way they shut it down was, well, it's been called a rug pull. Sources are saying that OpenAI teams were literally in a meeting with Disney talking about project updates just 30 minutes before the public announcement dropped. Disney had no idea. They were completely blindsided. A billion-dollar partnership just evaporated into thin air, which shows you exactly how committed OpenAI was to their new plan. So what is this big new plan? It's something called agentic systems. Basically, instead of building AI that makes things for you, like a video or a picture, they are betting the entire farm on AI that does things for you. It's a massive shift from simple creation to real-world action. And the heart of this whole new strategy is a desktop super app. It basically combines ChatGPT and their coding tool Codex with a brand new AI-first browser they're calling Atlas. And Atlas is the real game changer here. It has an agent mode where the AI can actually see your screen, click on things, navigate websites, book your flights, and finish complex jobs all by itself. You don't have to lift a finger. It's like having a digital employee living inside your computer. When you really boil it all down, this entire shocking move was made for one simple reason. The real money, the clear path to a $1 trillion IPO, is in the enterprise market, not making viral videos. This slide really lays it all out perfectly, doesn't it? Sora was incredibly high cost, super high risk, and in the end, gave them almost no return. The Super app, on the other hand, is all about enterprise, high return, and getting the company perfectly polished to go public. It's just like when Uber dumped its self-driving car division right before its IPO to stop hemorrhaging money. OpenAI had to let Sora die so the Super app could live. And of course, Sora's death is sending shockwaves through the whole market. Competitors like Runway and Luma are already scooping up the professional creators who were frustrated that Sora lacked fine-tuning controls. The whole Disney deal collapse has become a huge cautionary tale for big media companies. But the biggest takeaway is this: the age of AI spectacle is over. We are officially entering the age of AI utility. So that leaves us with the billion-dollar question. Was killing their most famous product a genius, ruthless move to save the company and lock in its future? Or did OpenAI just make the biggest mistake in the history of artificial intelligence? The verdict is still out, but one thing is absolutely certain: the entire AI landscape has been changed forever.